Okay, it's 5:30. At this time, we'll call the meeting to order. Everybody's attention.
I'll wait for everybody else.
And let's have a moment of silence before we begin our meeting. Thank you. And now Hannah Rager, an 8th grade student at North Middle, is going to lead us in the pledge, and she is the current Kentucky and National Junior Beta Club Vice President.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you, Hannah.
Thank
At this time, we need to approve the minutes of the prior board meeting. Board members, you've had time to review those. Is there any questions or discussion?
The meeting we had on September 13th, which was our work session, Mr. Perkins provided us with district safety updates, which had 22 items to be discussed. That's nowhere mentioned in there, in those minutes. It just says, that was it right there.
The first one.
It just says the board members discuss agenda, which is important to know. You can come in, sign in, and address the board, but this was something very important, the safety aspect of what we're looking at for the district. So I was just wondering why that wasn't mentioned as far as what he gave as a review. Sherry, you're
Right here. I do know it's all recorded.
Was that not important to put in the minutes?
Is that reflected because it's video in the video minutes? Is that the reason?
So whether it's in the video minutes, it doesn't have to be in the paper minutes?
Unless there's something in the email or something like that, it's not required. It can be if it's requested.
So it's important with the different safety aspects that was brought up.
Okay.
Can we not add it on and just email it to all the board members, please?
Can we make a motion to add that to the minutes? Okay. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passed. Okay, we're down to the next item to approve the agenda. And we do need to make one change. We'll need to approve it with the removal of item F, which is consider the purchase of the pickup for maintenance.
So we're moving that completely?
Yes.
Yes, we discussed that Monday night, and the quote that is mentioned is no longer available. So we're going to wait till we can get updated numbers.
Was it discussed when we might get updated numbers?
When the new models come out, is that correct?
Correct, possibly next month or the month after.
Like a 2019?
Correct. They could no longer get any 2018s.
Any other discussion? I need a motion to approve the agenda with the removal of item F.
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Johar. Need a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Lavelle. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, we're up to recognitions. Miss Emery?
Well, good evening, board members and all you guests. Welcome to our board meeting. Have you ever dreamed of starting a company and wondered what it takes and where to start? With us this evening is a student who explored those questions and much more by attending the Governor's Scholars for Entrepreneurships this past summer. In the 3 weeks at GSE, students are exposed to experienced entrepreneurs, startup tools, funding, pitch competitions, emerging technologies, and scholarships. Are we able to get any pictures, Sherry? I pulled off of the website some pictures, and our Isaiah is up at the far right. You can just see his head in that picture, but there's some really cool, and he's right there in front, raring to go in the very beginning and running. And then there's one other photo. I forgot where he's located on this. There he is on the left. But all three of those just give us an idea of what fun these 3 weeks were for him. So as you can see, the 3 weeks were intense and an opportunity of a lifetime. So I'd like for you to join me now in congratulating Mr. Isaiah Samick for successfully completing the 2018 Governor's Scholars for Entrepreneurship. He is the son of Jeff Samick and Vicki Samick. So Isaiah, would you please come up? I'm going to grab a picture in just a moment. Congratulations, Isaiah. You're welcome.
There you go, Isaiah. Let me put my hand here, and this is yours. Thank you. Let's look at our smile. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Good job, Isaiah.
That's an awesome honor, is to have someone in that. So thank you all very much.
Thank you.
We're short today.
Okay, we'll move on to the Treasurer's Report. Mr. Bletzinger.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman Wells. Tonight I'm bringing the financials as of August 31st. We start with revenues. The beginning balance was $20,525,255,000. That is up by $451,000 from the prior month. However, monthly receipts at 2.279 are down about 1.1 million for total monthly receipts and revenues of 22.8 million. Expenditures. August, we had about 1.13 million in accounts payable and food service expenses, and payroll expenses were 2.654 for a total expense of 3.784 million. The accounts payable, they are down about 130,000 from August of last year, and that was mainly in debt service. The significant bills that were paid in June were $492,630 paid to Eves Insurance and $33,755 paid to Academic Edge. I think it's important to note that the insurance is one of those items that does get lumped into admin costs, and that's about 8%, about 8.64, I believe was what it was, percent of our admin costs. So payroll, the gross pay was 2.369 million with deduction of 782,000, which resulted in net pay of 1.58 million, 389,000 taxes, 291,000 in KTRS, 171,000 in CERS, insurance of almost 92,000, and other payments of 123,000 for the total, again tying it back to the other page, of 2.654 million. The accounts payable breakdown. $717,999 was fixed and mixed expenses. Again, of that, $492,000 was the insurance payment. Utilities expenses were $108,000, and variable expenses were about $304,583. The accounts payable breakdown of the 1.13 million, general fund was $1 million. Special revenue, or Fund 2, was $72,618, and food service / daycare expenses were $32,543. The ledger balance at the end of the month, about 19 million. There was a cash balance of 10.38 million. There was a bank error, so it was off by $1,567, but that will be adjusted next month. We've had the discussion with the bank already in order to get that error fixed. The breakdown of the cash balance, 9.3 million of that is general fund. Special revenue, Fund 2 was a negative balance of 59,000. Construction is 963,000. Debt service is 59,000. Again, that's one of those balances. The debt service is going to continue to go down throughout the year, and then we true it up at the end of the year. Food service, 130,000. Daycare, 71,000, and investments of 8.6 for a total of 19 million. That's up about 180,000 from the prior month. So the extended financial picture, in January of 2019, we expect to have about 8.2 million cash. The other thing I wanted to touch on this evening was our dental renewal. It's an elective insurance. The renewal prices came in. There was a slight increase. This was the first year that we did not have operate in a deficit wherein utilization was extremely high. So it's playing a little bit of catch up right now. So again, those are, Anthem also will be offering dental. We wanted to keep this other option available as the Anthem plans only have one dentist in our network that's located here. So this, the HRI dental plan has about six dentists in the plan around here, and the benefits are a little bit richer on the ortho. Are there any questions?
When did we, was dental something back in 2015 that we opted to not cover, or we've always offered dental insurance?
That was something that we did pull back in
Okay.
2015.
So when did we reestablish it?
We never took the dental away. We just the board didn't contribute towards the single plan.
And is that how it is now?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions or discussion?
On outstanding checks, there is a check for a David Edwards attorney that was issued March of 2017, and it comes up on that, and I don't know why it hasn't gone away. And also, there's vision. Are we offering vision?
I mean, it's an elective that
Okay,
people
so they
can.
can, it's not, they can opt in if they want.
deduct
Okay,
that.
so dental and vision are something that are offered. Okay, so yeah, that's, it's $336 for that David W. Edwards attorney.
That's a garnishment. I mean, we can void that out.
I just didn't know why it was still showing up.
That's just because it was a garnishment, and then they didn't void it out.
So it's just something that he hasn't cashed, I guess?
That's correct.
Okay. And then there's other checks that are like from earlier this year. Do we just wait? They have 6 months to?
We do,
cash
and
these checks?
anytime I see any of them, I give them to my accounts payable clerk, and she deletes all of them or voids them, all of them that are 6 months old.
Okay. Well, and there's one of them for Central City Elementary, it's $670. That's on page, I guess, 3 of the outstanding checks here. I was just wondering.
That's something we can follow up with them on, and just make sure that.
Okay.
That they've.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions or discussion? If not, I need a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Johar, and I will second. All those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Okay, payments of bills and salaries, Mr. Blitzinger.
Again, this month I bring $329,382.79. Of that, utilities expense about $90,599. Fixed expenses are $97,000, and variable expenses are $141,614,000. The checks of significance this time is a check to Old Wealth Management, which is debt service, and that is $8,993.
Thank you. Any discussion or question on the payment of bills and salaries? If not, I'll need a motion to approve, and I'll make that motion to approve. Can I have a second? Second by Mr. Johar. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you.
Payment of school bills, anything significant there, Mr. Blitzinger?
There's nothing significant.
Okay. Any discussion on payment of school bills? I need a motion to approve the payment of the school bills.
Make a motion.
A motion by Mr. Johar. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Lavelle. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. Okay, we're up to public participation, and we do not have any tonight. So, Mr. Davis, I will turn it over to you for your superintendent's report.
Thank you, Chairman Wells, board members. I just have a couple of things, and we'll get into the principal's part. Mentoring has started. I meant to talk to Carla earlier, but we're off and running on that, and we have several. Do you know the number?
We currently have about 65 high school mentors, and then we have probably 40 to 50 adults.
About 100 students getting mentored. So just very pleased with that report. I came in and got to see Mr. Joe Har mentoring the other day as I happened to walk through. So that's a great program for our kids, and we'll continue to push that and continue to try to expand that. I also want to say, as I've said over and over, working on soft skills this year more than ever and trying to teach that and talk that and model that. And I've seen so much of it in the schools. I'm already seeing some positives from that, so I'm excited about that. And some of the principals may actually bring a few things up that we're working on, but really pleased with the way the teachers, and not just the teachers, everyone's jumped in and tried to help with that. So we're kind of developing a plan as we go, but we're definitely moving in the right direction with that. So did want to mention that. And I'm going to be a little bit all over the place here on schools because some need to go first, some need to go last because of some folks here. So Central City Elementary, Ms. Higgs is going to go first, and we'll start there.
I'll come up a little bit closer. It's been a busy month at Central City Elementary. We've had weekends study picnics. It was something new for us. We decided to go out and picnic outside. The first day, Wednesday, was beautiful. The weather was very cooperative. Friday, we did 3 other grade levels. It was a little warmer that day, so we did bring them inside to the gym lobby, or that was a choice they could make. We had a great turnout both days. We've had Title I Family Science Night with Jason Lindsay, or AKA Mr. Science. This morning, we had an extreme energy presentation through the Group Bureau of Lectures. And we also celebrated Hats Off to Attendance today and ended with a floss-off contest this afternoon. So we too have been working on soft skills. For I think this is the 3rd or 4th year in a row, I lose count, we've had classroom jobs and school-wide jobs. In grades 3 through 5, the school-wide jobs require an application process. The kids have to fill out an application. This year we added a new component to that. They actually go through an interview process before we hire. So that's something new for us. I love calling the classrooms and hearing the kids answer the phone, especially the little ones. They'll tickle you to death when they answer the phone because they are so professional. So it's really fun. Not only do we work at being college and career ready, but we're also working at our global competency. And so I have our Chinese teacher while you've done with us tonight, and I have some kids, they're going to show off their Chinese language skills tonight. So you see the kiddos, we'll go up front. You'll go about the house. I'll introduce those. These are just some of our kiddos that seem to excel in the area of Chinese. We have Jesse Duval. Jesse, raise your hand. He is in Miss Rhodes' 4th grade class, and he is the guardian of Steve and Dana Cunda. We have Xavier Richardson. Raise your hand, Xavier. He's the 4th grade class. Thomas and Chiquita Richardson, his parents. Gage Evans, who just has a new sibling in the home, just about a week old. It's Miss Parker's 5th grade. Jordan Evans is his parent. We have Jalissa Taylor. She is in 5th grade, and Julian Taylor is her mother. We have Gianna Martin, 5th grade, Melina Goodman, and did Dallas make it? No, see Dallas, okay. Not only do we work in our K-5 classrooms, but our 3- and 4-year-old Head Start and daycare program also is involved in Chinese. So we have Liam Wells with us tonight. He's 4 years old, and he's in our 3- and 4-year-old program. And he can talk me under the table in his Chinese. So, Mr. Glass, Liam, we're going to save you for last, okay? All right, so Mr. Glass.
大家好，我 Wood Jiao Bai Hao, Woman Licha CCES, Hangao Xing, Kandao Li Min, Shishi. 我的我叫 Jessie， 我们来自 CCS， 很高兴看到你们，1、2、3，谢谢。我叫 G， 我叫 Joyce。我们老师很高兴看到你们，1、2、3，谢谢。大家好，我叫 Xavier， 我们来自CCS， 很高兴看到你们，1、2、3，谢谢。I forgot what to say. 大家好，我叫 Gianna， 我们来自 CCES， 我爱你们，谢谢。Do we all do? Oh, 新年好呀，祝福大家新年好。我们唱歌，我们跳舞，祝福大家新年好。谢谢。Hello everybody, my name is Gage. We come from CCES. Very nice to meet y'all. 1, 2, 3, shishi, or thank you.
That's what they just say. They introduce themselves and say, I'm from Central City Elementary School, and then they say, very nice to meet you guys, and then they say in the Chinese, Happy New Year in Chinese. Here we go.
The little man's turn?
No, little man go. So he's going to count Chinese numbers and say the Chinese numbers.
Right, just talk, okay?
1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10。3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10、1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10，还有手指，还有手指。
Good job. Good job, buddy.
Good job, guys. Good job. Wow. Thank you, Miss Higgs.
Yeah.
Miss Bumps, Millburn County High School.
Good job. Good job.
I think I'm just going to ask this little guy right here to help me out already. Good evening, Superintendent Davis and board members. Just 3 highlights. We want to remind you all and invite you out to Millburn County High School West Campus tomorrow. Tomorrow is our Dress for Success, also known as our College and Career Fair Day for our juniors and seniors, where we'll definitely be focusing on soft skills all day long. So we do have various vendors, business spectra here in our county coming in and surrounding counties. And then in the afternoon portion, we'll have our various colleges from around the state to come in, and our students will be able to go to all the various vendors. We'll also have our mock interview. That's one of our most popular items that we have for our students to be able to observe the rights and the wrongs when going for an interview. And then I believe if all works out, Sheriff McGee might be coming in tomorrow as well to talk to our students too. So very packed day for all our students and very excited about that. Also, a first in Mustang Nation in the 10 years that we've been together. I call it the #1UP Perkins and Devine. Mr. Hancock and I were presented with the Sportsmanship Award for having 0 disqualifications in the 2017-18 school year at the recent KHSAA Delegate Assembly meeting, so we're very proud of that, and our coaches and our athletes, sorry, Mr. Perkins and Mr. Devine, were able to really meet those expectations, so excited about that. And then, of course, always our band and fall sports are well underway. I've been quite pleased with how all of them have started, and believe it or not, next week begins regional golf, and then we'll begin to wrap up our fall regional sports right around the corner, and then begin our winter sports. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Bumps. Mr. Watkins, Renaissance.
First of all, I want to give a big shout out to our first move program's success story of the year. Mr. Joseph McIntosh, who was a 5th-year senior, came up a little short last year. From graduating, he enrolled in our program several weeks ago, and I'm excited to say Joseph has completed and recovered the necessary credits to become a graduate in spring. Joseph, along with other students at the Renaissance Center, have recovered so far 13 credits. And lastly, earlier this month, Mr. Chris Sparks with the Renewal Center collaborated with Lori McDonald from Lighthouse Counseling in conducting a youth focus group local needs assessment with several of our students. This guided conversation was about alcohol and drug abuse with teens and adults too in our community. After the conversation, he got the kids pizza and donuts, which they loved. And then the best part, we received a message from Mr. Sparks after this conversation a couple days later. He said, "Thank you all for helping me set up this focus group. The teens were fantastic. The best youth focus group I've had. They were very respectful, and what impressed me the most is that several students thanked me for the food, and I also got several handshakes." Those are things that we've been working on in the mornings during life skills and soft skills time. It's always great to have people from the community in our school, and we appreciate Mr. Sparks. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Watkins. Mr. Lyle, Lindbergh South Middle School.
A few things we've had going this year already. Janet mentioned it's been always a busy start to the school year, but we were able to have our Thank You Thursday in August to recognize Kroger for all of their back to the school supplies, all the work that went into that, and then also Old National Bank for what they did for our staff on opening day. Next Thursday will be our September Thank You Thursday, which will be for our first responders. And we'll be recognizing them and honoring them for all they do, not only for our schools, but for our community as well. In the area of soft skills, we've had individuals from the community come in and talk about employability skills. We have teachers who are going through interviews with students and maybe selecting one to do an interview and then critiquing that. And what should you do better? What do you need to think about? We had a community member come in with Miss Skipworth's class, and they actually learned how to tie ties. Our ladies did a better job of tying ties than our gentlemen. So we actually had one female student said, "Why do I need to learn to tie a tie?" And Miss Skipworth said, "Well, you might have a husband one day and you have to learn to tie his tie." She said, "My husband better know how to tie his tie before I marry him." But I would say that student was one of the best in the class on tying a tie. So it was impressive to see, and we're going to revisit that quite often throughout the 9 weeks to see how many of them can still remember how to tie a tie. We also had Grandparents' Day breakfast. 231 grandparents came out on 2 days for that event. Miss Jamie Randolph and her husband created an opportunity for a mother-daughter night, which is always a big success for us there. They were able to cut out, I think this year was wooden acorns, and decorate those, and got a lot of good positive feedback on that event. And then tomorrow morning is Fishing University, which I don't know much about, but it's on the Outdoor Channel. They're in their 33rd year, but they will be filming on location in Lake Malone, and they will be coming in and doing a 1-hour assembly with our students tomorrow and filming a 90-second bit, which will be shown on their show at that time. So a lot of great things going on. Come out and visit City Council.
Thank you, Mr. Lau. I will say I'm glad Gretchen didn't have that same tie-tying requirement, or we may not be married right now because I couldn't do it at that point. Mr. Rager, thank you for hosting us, and tell us about North Middle.
Part of our soft skills is we're trying to do a lot of programs that are student-led, like our 9/11 Remembrance Ceremony. If you came, it was entirely student-led. We had a student-led activity for Constitution Day as well. And I've been calling something a soft skills challenge. And every week, we, as administrators and teachers, we kind of gauge the soft skills of each grade level. And so on a Monday, during our morning assembly, I'll tell which grade level is the winner. And last week it was the 6th grade. So that Monday morning coming out, as I'm greeting students and fist bumping, the 8th graders are like, we're not going to let 6th grade kids, good morning, Mr. Rager, good morning. And so they're really, so we're making it kind of into a game or a challenge to them. So the 7th and 8th grader are really trying to step up their game. And so then at the end of the 9 weeks, whichever grade level wins gets an extra intramural period in the gym. So anyway, so they're really starting to pay attention that if somebody says good morning, that they're going to say good morning, and they're shaking hands and everything. So like I said, Monday morning I'll come in and we'll see which grade level is going to be the winner for this week. There's good manners and handshakes going on during our enrichment period. Also, next week I'm going to be going into Ms. Wilson's computer applications class and be doing some interviews. And I've been doing this for the last probably 2 or 3 years. She'll have students that will volunteer, and I will come in and I will interview them in front of the class. And I'll make the kids enter the room, and then after it's over, I'll kind of go over with them kind of what were the good points and maybe what they need to work on. So we'll be doing that next week. And I also want to recognize a staff member here at North Middle, Ms. Jessica Raleigh. Would you please stand? Last time we had the board meeting here, the walls in here were pretty much bare. She is a mural artist as well. So all the murals you see in here, Ms. Jessica Raleigh, who is an instructional monitor here at North Middle, she did all these murals in here. I welcome you after the meeting. The restrooms as well. There's murals, and what she tried to do was themes. Like the 6th grade reads a certain book, so she would put that mural in the 6th grade restrooms, 7th grade and 8th grade, so they're all themed as well. So like I said, if you get an opportunity, you have time afterwards, go in the restrooms and you'll see some more of her work. So anyway, I just want to give her an applause.
Thank you, Mr. Rager. Mr. Wells, South Elementary.
Good evening. We have been doing some things with soft skills as well. We've been working on shaking hands and maintaining eye contact. We work on please and thank you. And we're using our school news to promote soft skills through videos and things of that nature. We had grandparents breakfast this week. We had kindergarten through 1st grade on Tuesday, grades 3 through 5 today. Our book fair will wrap up tomorrow. A special thanks to Officers Wes Miller and Bill Henson for being at our school every morning, greeting our students, helping students get out of their cars, opening doors, directing traffic and such. I don't think there's been a single morning where we did not have an officer at the school, so thank them for that. And a special thanks to our district's IT department. Mr. Chad Wells and his crew help us out in so many ways. Map fixes, computer updates, all the little things that get in the way of the teachers, they help out and get our students up and going with their computers. So thank them for that.
Thank you, Mr. Wells. Mr. Hardison, longest.
I'll go ahead and begin and cover a couple items. Before I introduce you to a couple of our outstanding students in August Elementary. Do want to brag on our staff. We hosted a very successful book fair during Grandparents Week. We had 774 grandparents and students sign in the 4 days we opened up at breakfast before school. We were very excited to see the large number of grandparents come out and support their grandchildren. And sometimes parents came in with those grandparents, so we had a great week with Grandparents Week, but it was very exciting to see our parking lots full each morning, and do appreciate Ms. Donna Gill, our family resource person, for being so positive and helping organize those morning events. Got to give a thank you to a couple other principals here in the room. We've taken a couple of their ideas and brought them to longest and had very good success with it already. We took Mr. Rager's idea of the silent mentor program that he picked up and has improved his school. We're having good success with our silent mentor program. Our staff has picked up approximately 100 of our kids to mentor and just to give them praise and support and make sure they feel like they're welcome at school each day, trying to promote their best effort and good attendance. And hopefully it's going to pay off in the end. But we're sitting there at 370 kids, and we've got 100 kids our staff are mentoring, plus the mentor programs that we have with Universal Mentors and the student mentors. We're addressing a lot of kids' needs, so we're really excited about that. But thanks to our staff for doing that, and thanks to Mr. Rager for sending a good idea for us to share with. Also took an idea from Mr. Lyle. I really like the idea he had of bringing in his past staff. And longest being a family group of teachers, we enjoyed bringing in our past teachers, past staff members at our last Spotlight Assembly. And we had about 16, 18 staff members return, and it was very exciting. Ms. Lois Slinker, to name one, came back and spent time with us. I don't know if they enjoyed the assembly as much as they just enjoyed hanging out with each other. And we got up there about, I guess 1 o'clock or 3:30. They were still just enjoying their company with each other. We had a little cake, and it's just so good to get them together. And they enjoyed seeing our building and kind of being back around each other, and also seeing just the common the teachers that are still there with us. So it was an exciting day. Mr. Davis. He's been promoting soft skills, and not only does he talk about it here, he's out in classrooms talking about it. So we shared a couple of discussion points with our teachers, and I'll just give you a couple highlights that we're seeing among common ground. 4th and 5th grade teachers talk a lot about active listening and being respectful in conversation. 3rd grade, I really like what they're doing with picking one soft skill a week. And they talk about that and promote it to parents in their newsletter. The younger students, K through 3 or K through 2, they're dealing with a lot of early good skills, greetings, good eye contact, giving compliments, and very importantly in elementary school, sharing with classmates. So I really like the activity we're doing, facing the speaker, actively listening. That's pretty common across all grade levels in August. So we're definitely having some success and seeing the good things happen with our soft skills. It's fun. I really enjoy it. I want to introduce you to a couple students we have here with us tonight. First of all, Lincoln, you got a heavy load there, so I'm going to talk about you first. Mr. Lincoln Drury is a 5th grader with us. He is the son of John and Kelsey. And Lincoln is a student athlete, and he is successful in both areas. Lincoln is part of the cross-country team that he got started at a very young age, thanks to a PE teacher getting him motivated in that. But he is a natural athlete. He'd probably be successful in about any sport he chose. His coaches tell me that he's very driven. He sets goals for himself. And his big goal, correct me if I'm wrong, is to medal in every competition you have this year. Over time, his coaches have shared his mile time has gone from, I think in 16, it was 7 minutes and 16 seconds. And it improved in 2017 to 7 minutes and 4 seconds.
he keeps setting goals for himself to get faster and faster to medal. And you see some of the medals that he's earned recently. Are those lifetime or those supposed to be recent? Okay, all 3-year medals there. So over time, he's working, improving. In the past year, his average time has been 6:49. So he continues to see improvement. And these times are not on a flat track like at West Campus. These are cross-country hills and sometimes grassy areas, so it's pretty difficult terrain sometimes. He really, I knew he was having success, and but he really popped into my eye the other day when his PE class was doing a mile run with all students at longest. He set the record at longest with the mile run on our back track at 6 minutes and 6 seconds. For a mile, that's pretty fast. So, and by quite a distance, he beat our second place runner from what I think is 6:45. So, pretty good job there, but very proud of him. And if you know Lincoln, if you looked at his academic records, he's just as strong in the classroom too. So, he's really shared that he is a student athlete.
Mr. Harrison, I'd like to interject just for a second and say, Lincoln, I'm just speaking to you now. I coached your dad in middle school basketball, and I had a lot of trouble getting him to run. So I think it's awesome that you overcame that.
I speak to Lincoln, but I got Lawson here too, and Lawson's in the same kind of the spirit there. He's a runner too, and I expect he's going to be having great success as well. So he's successful in the classroom, so doing really well. So really proud of these two boys, and I'm sure Mom and Dad are too. I've got Miss Lorelei Riggs with me. She's a first grader at longest, and we got to looking at what can we recognize. Well, Lorelei, she kind of covers all the bases. I mean, when she took her math test recently, 98th percentile and 99th percentile. Very impressed. I'm sure Brandon, father, and Whitney, mother, are very proud of her. She's also been not only successful on her math test and in class. You see her in class, she's just being a demonstrator of the best behavior you can have. Chosen Citizen of the Month last month, so we're very excited for her, and so she's going to have great things ahead of her. So we love seeing the little ones do so well. So Lorelai's doing a great job. I'm proud to have her with us tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Harrison. Mr. Sharp, Bremen.
First of all, I want to say thank you to the central office and everyone in the school who sent some people to help when we had a recent snap with tragedy and loss of your son. So thank you very much for that. September 14th, big day in Renewal Elementary. It was Dot Day. It's based on the Peter A. Reynolds book Dot, and Dot is about adopting a growth mindset. We just recently had family days for all grades and wrapped up our book fair. Our PTO is currently selling chocolate at a high rate. Fall festival scheduled for Friday, September 28th, 5 to 7:30 p.m. Shout out to our running club, Eagles on the Run. They participated in the Happy Feet Glow Run. We recently completed our Thankful Thursdays. In August, we had a bus driver give some donuts, thank you cards. And recently, we had our fire department in. We gave them a card and some thank yous. Students and staff are integrating the Ron Clark Essential 55 Rules. It's how we're kind of going about our soft skills. And it's a book about rules and manners. Rule number 1 is saying yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am to all adults. And eye contact is rule 2, congrats the winner, and then 4 is respect others' ideas and comments. So really integrating those at all levels of the classroom.
Thank you, Ms. Sharp. Ms. Jones, Greenville Elementary.
Yes, I'm here to help nice to make their way up, and as they're going, I tell you what, right over there, that'll be great. And Miss House has brought some kids. These are actually not all her homeroom kids. These are students that she's working with 30 minutes a day. We do what's called RVI time, where students focus on this 2 weeks it's been reading. So I'm going to let them, they're going to introduce what they're doing here in just a minute. But
We did have over almost 600 guests for Grandparents' Day. Very pleased with our turnout. Soft skills, of course, these students are getting ready to put some soft skills into action and let you see what they're working on. But very pleased with students as I meet them on the bus every morning. Students are making sure that they use eye contact and they beat me to saying good morning. Also, each morning on the announcements, we have student leaders that come, different ones each day, actually do the morning announcements. And they are focusing on a soft skill each day. This week we've been focusing on using good manners, and this week they have focused on that. Our school-wide jobs have gotten started, and students are on time and punctual. They're working hard and being very good leaders throughout the building. So I'm going to turn it over to our students real quick, because I know they're anxious to share with you what they have.
Good evening. Miss House's RBI group has been learning about the author's class like alliteration and onomatopoeia. Enjoy the show. Talking taco talks a ton. Talking taco talks all the talk to Tom on Tuesday because his tongue talks better words with text. The elongation of Mad Munching Mangoes with Marshmallow Man and makeup by Spencer Newman and Autumn Dixon. Miss Newman makes makeup magic with mask, mascara, macaroon, and during lip moisturize. The Marshmallow Man helps make the makeup magical. Wait, the Marshmallow Man? Yep, the Marshmallow Man. Greeny goats. Greeny goats walked into a garage and they got stuck. Little clash. Little greeny goats came into the garage and they got all the greeny goats out of this garage with a rope. Yay! One greeny goat got stuck in the sky. The greeny goats tried to get the greeny goat, but he was too high. The greeny goats bought a plane, but they couldn't see the greeny goat anymore. All of the greeny goats said bye to their loving greeny goat. The end. The Adventures of Nina and Ned by Brady and Connor, both illustrated and wrote. And Connor's sick. So was Ava. Chapter 1, Noxic Noodles. Nina and Ned are duped for Noxic Noodles. Neon Needles tested normal noodles and they turned into Noxic Noodles. Arg! Chapter 2, The Problem. The Noxic Noodles fell into some kind of Nook potion and turned the Noxic Noodles into Noxic Noodles. But there's one problem. Who did this? To be continued. Chapter 3, Who Did It? 35 minutes later, you found out my plan, so we will not stay on this earth till Christmas, says the guy who did this, aka King Newt. Noodles, get them. Not so good for Nina and Ned. Chapter 4, We Did It! Or did we? The King Newt accidentally stuck his tongue onto the rocket and forgot about air, and the rocket went to the sun. No good for King Newty Pants. You have not seen the last of me! No! Chapter 5, Dry Newt. Nobody knows that King Newt didn't give up so easily. The sun burned his scaly skin, but who said anything about his bones? Dun, dun, dun. completely new friends. Dry Newt said, no, not good. But then he saw little birdie thingies. Can you help me destroy the galaxy? Said Dry Newt. Yes, Master, we're evil too. To be continued. Okay, that's the This is the about the authors page. I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about Connor because he wasn't here. Connor wrote this. Connor said, I like food. No, I love food. And Dogman inspired me to write this book. Thanks, Dave Pilkey. Okay, that's me, Brady. Like Connor, I like food, and Despicable Me Too inspired me to write this. Get the next book. It's revenge.
It's Alea Lovin. Alea, raise your hand. Alea is the daughter of Miss Lara and Carrie. And it's Spencer Newman, daughter of Paul and Laurie Newman. We have Miss Autumn Dixon, who is the daughter of Craig and Cindy Dixon. And Miss Miley Duval, wave that on Miley. She is the daughter of Nick and Casey Duval. And then Brady Browning is the son of Hayes and Jessica Browning. And I want to thank them again. You can tell the conversation that's going on around the building. It's pretty exciting. I ran into this activity, I think it was on day 2, they were working on it. And I said, you all have got to come share, so.
On day 1, we spun a spinner, on Price is Right. And whatever letter it landed on was the letter they had to write, they had to use. So on day 2, they developed a character or characters with that name. And on day 3, they developed their story. On day 4, we went in and found onomatopoeias. And then day 5 and 6, they finished their story. So they are really great authors. I'm proud of them all.
Great job, guys. Good job. Thank you. Miss Carla, I assume you're going to want folks outside maybe to get some pictures. Parents, if you want to take them out, she'd love to get some shots. Maybe we can do some Facebook stuff. And that concludes my superintendent.
Okay, thank you all. Thank you for all the students that were here. It was so impressive. And thank you, principals, for all you're doing with soft skills. I think we're going to meet Mr. Davis's goal of our kids being recognized for their soft skills. And Ms. Browning, while they're going out, do personnel actions.
And once again, I get to follow that. That's just not fair, but it's the way it is. Personnel actions for the period of August 8th through 2018 through September 12th, 2018. Certified personnel employment, there were 22 actions. Resignation, certified personnel, 5. Reassignment of certified personnel, 7. Classified personnel employment, 10. Resignation of classified personnel, 3. Reassignment of classified personnel, 5.
Well done, Ms. Browning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Too much.
Mr. Freeman, attendance and enrollment.
Thank you, Ms. Vice Chairman, board members. I have tonight to just review real quickly the first month attendance report for our current year. Our first month began August the 8th, ended August the 30th. We were at 95.87, which was up nearly a tenth of a point. Was hoping for a little bit better, but it is up, going in that right direction. Enrollment for the first month was 4,526, which was down 111 from the first month last year. Again, trying to do this again with comparing it to the last day of school. We're down 18 from the last day of school last year. I'm hoping that this number, because this is a real close number to last year, that we're beginning to close the gap a little bit and hopefully creating some stable number where we can depend on as far as for projections for our seat dollars. So we'll look at that closely, but that I know it's down from our last day, but from last two previous years, it was well over 100. So we'll see how that goes. I did run enrollment numbers as of today, the 20th. We have 4,529, which up 3 students from the end of our first month. Okay. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Okay, we'll move to our board action items. Ms. Roberts to consider South Elementary textbook plan.
Good evening, Vice Chair Ray and board members. Wells, sorry. Where did that come from? I don't know. Sorry about that, Ms. Wells. So anyway, the Muhlenberg South Elementary Schools submitted a textbook purchasing plan. They're seeking approval for this textbook purchase, and they're requesting to purchase Reading Wonders and a library package for their second grade students from the McGraw-Hill Education Company in the amount of $17,189. They're combining the carryover amount of their 2016-17 textbook allocation, which is $3,248.31, with $9,160.96 of their 2017-18 allocation to make this purchase. They will have a zero balance after this, and as you know, the state is not granting any more funds for textbooks for a while. And so they did not have, this was not enough money to make the purchase, so they're kicking in an additional $4,779.73 out of their funds to make this purchase. Because it was not on the state textbook list, they had to do the off-list paperwork, and all the paperwork is in order.
Thank you, Ms. Roberts. Any questions? I need a motion that we approve the textbook plan for Muhlenberg South Elementary School in the amount of $17,189 so the needed reading textbooks can be ordered for the 2018-19 school year. Mr. Johar has made a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Lavelle. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Browning, approve the contract with A+ Leadership for the Aspiring Administrator Program.
Okay, we're kind of excited about this. As you may or may not know, when an administrative position opens in our district, we always want to try to find the most qualified person to fill that position. And in the past, we found that we sometimes don't have a lot of applicants to choose from. So we kind of have worked with this group before, A+ Leadership. About a couple of years ago, we worked with them. We were impressed with what we learned from them at that time. And they, in conjunction with Martin Foundation, are going to work with us on an aspiring administrator program. So what I'm asking you for tonight is to approve the contract between A+ and our school system. The contribution, basically most of the money comes from the Martin Foundation, the $25,000 plus some expense, and I've got it listed and lined out here in your decision paper. Our financial contribution to this will be somewhat minimal. It'll be some supplies around $750, and then the cost of subs for those teachers who are going to be members in this program.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Browning? I need a motion to approve the contract with A+ Leadership for the Aspiring Administrator Program. And I'll make that motion. Second by Mr. Johar. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Opposed.
Okay, motion failed. Now we'll move to approve the 2018-19 student fees for Muhlenberg South. Ms. Browning?
This was a late addition. Those fees were approved last month, and this was one that just came in a little bit late, and I'm just asking for the approval of this late addition fee schedule for South Elementary.
Any questions or discussion?
So all the after-school clubs, it's $10 per club per semester. So like if somebody wanted to do 5 different clubs, it'd be $50 a semester?
I'll need to defer to Mr. Wells. I'm not sure if he's back. Oh, there you are. I'm sorry.
If students chose 5 different clubs, it's $10 per semester. So it's $50 a semester?
I know they would pay for the first club. If there's an issue where they can't make the payments, then the family resource help them. I do not think you'll be charged $50. I think you're charged for the first club. But I'm not sure on that.
just not charge for clubs at all?
Well, we've always charged for them. It's something where they stay after school. The teachers do volunteer their time. It's something that we've always done.
So the money goes to what? Like
It's for t-shirts and supplies that go along with the club. For example, the My Connecting Club, there are supplies for Connecting and use that. Like buying the clothes, buying the t-shirts for the kids, things like that.
So then, can any money from like PTO be used for the clubs where the families are raising money and doing fundraising?
Sure, that is something we can.
We've already had the approval of the other fees, correct? So this is just for this one particular school, and they're
Correct.
similarly structured. Okay. Any further discussion? I need a motion that we approve the student fee request for Muhlenberg South Elementary for the 2018-19 school year. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Opposed.
Motion failed.
I'd just like to see us find money from somewhere else. I know these families, they're paying the taxes that have just been increased. They're paying for fundraising. They're paying for fees. They're paying for, transportation, field trips, whatever it may be. And if we could, reach out to the general fund somewhere and be able to provide the schools with the money. I just hate to see that we're always asking the families and the citizens to participate in fundraising to do for these students. And I think we're all on free and reduced lunch, right? Yeah. So that says to me as a board member that it's harder already for these families financially, harder.
Okay, we'll move to item D, to consider scanning services provided by DRMS. Mr. Bletzinger.
Thank you very much. What I'm bringing to you this evening is to consider the scanning services that will be provided by Data Records Management Systems. They're a scanning, archiving, and management service company. We put out a bid for scanning services, received the quote back. It was approximately $140,000. We renegotiated that, got it down, but we did this for several reasons. First, and the largest reason right now is that the building that we have to store these items is running out of space. And these items must be kept indefinitely as they are payroll records and those sort of things. The Kentucky Department of Archives requires that we keep an eye-readable format. And so what we'll do is we'll get these scanned and then look to get them on microfilm, at which time the microfilm will be sent to Frankfurt and it will be stored off-site in their secure facility. And lastly, many of the items that we have out there are very old and they become brittle. And so we're trying to maintain the integrity of the data that we have. So we're scanning these items to ensure that the district remains compliant with both state and federal record retention laws. And so the cost to the district would be up to $75,000.
So how do we currently store the records? Like, if we're running out of space, what now?
In boxes.
Right, but is it a storage unit or?
We have a building outside of the back of the school board.
Okay, so is there any other way in actual schools that have space in rooms that we could actually use? Utilize space, like I'll just make up like South Middle. Is there a room there that they're not utilizing as much and we can?
Unfortunately, we need to have access to those records.
Okay.
So that is, logistically, that's really not a feasible option, as we do have to access these records frequently.
Any other questions? I need a motion that the board accept the agreement between DRMS and the Muhlenberg County Board of Education. Although I need a motion. Getting ahead of myself. Do I hear a motion?
Yeah, we discussed on this on Monday, and I think it's a great idea, storing it in the emails and scan them for IRS reason, because in business, you can throw it out after 7 years, but in school system, you gotta keep it for indefinite period. Going forward, you know how many buildings, and you can't store it off the administrator's site.
So currently, we do not use scanning and microfilm services at all.
We do not. And some of this, you know, there have been other districts. There's one district particular that their basement where they stored it, that flooded, and they spent well over 6 figures recovering the items, and then additional funds to scan it. I think I have Mr. Hardison's fly. Sorry.
So what did they do? They had to go into contract with someone plus pay the 6 figures?
That is correct.
Do we have a basement that we store things in that is potentially apt
No,
to
but
flood?
that building is full of paper. So, I mean, there's a fire potential that's out there.
Any other discussion?
I make a motion to approve.
I have a motion from Mr. Johar, and I will second that motion. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Opposed.
Motion failed.
What's the solution to this?
Well, do we have to act on it right away? I mean, are we up against a deadline, or we?
We're up against space, and honestly, we could build another building back there and that's an option in order to.
What are the specs to the building? What does it have to be? Does it have to be? It couldn't be like a portable building or anything like that.
In terms of, I guess
I mean, you could get a storage unit. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm just saying, it seems like $75,000 is a lot of money.
well, I mean, building another building would be roughly the same
Well,
cost.
we shouldn't even think about that, like a building for storage. I mean, I'm just saying, if we're looking to go to scanning and microfilm, then why are we not already doing it as we go?
But that's what we're trying to do with this task. So we want to get to where we can scan things, but we have to get these items done.
But do we have a server that keeps a lot of the records on there?
No, we do not.
So this is our only copy, is what's in the
So
building.
we're already at risk, is what you're saying. We're already at risk. We're a school
I
district that's
mean,
been at risk
we
for-
have some items that are scanned, like in the personnel file. However, the payroll records are not scanned. So they're in the building. We have records as old as 1930s.
And it's a problem now?
It's always been a problem, but it's just something that, we've held off on this because it was a costly item. So now that we're in a place where we can do that, we thought it'd be prudent to protect the district. And so that's what the premise was behind bringing this to the board.
Well,
And we did renegotiate it.
So why is it hard, if you use an empty room in a school, why is it hard to have those records there? We would have access to it. You could go and unlock the school, and pretty much the building is open the same hours as the central office. So I'm just curious, why is that a barrier to use another empty classroom or part of a room in another school?
Really,
It's not being
the
utilized.
majority of it is logistics. So when we have someone that comes in and requires those items, we then have to go off-site in order to go get those items and bring that back, get the needed information from that, and then we'd bring it back to that item, into that area. Yes, ma'am.
I was going to talk about personnel records. We do have personnel records stored in the basement, the bottom floor of our building. Personnel records have to be kept locked and confidential, and they have to be kept for 50 years after someone dies.
So the classrooms could be locked. We could put a lock on the classroom.
I would not want, personally, I would not want my personnel information off-site.
So other information that is being stored that could come off-site, not personnel, but other information that is taking up space, can it go to a classroom that is locked and follow all criteria and treat it like personnel records, but it's not personnel?
It's not prudent. I'm sure it could be, but that's not prudent. That would not be the best way to do business from a business standpoint.
we'll move to the next item. Item E, consider DocuRecords management software.
DocuWare is it's a document management software that went along partially with some of the scanning, wherein it would allow us to pull up those files from the desktop in their computer. It also the implementation of this software will replace two pieces of software that personnel uses. It is something that we can use across departments, providing uniformity and continuity amongst departments. The cost is $15,540 annually, and it would replace about $11,000 worth of software.
Thank you. Any questions regarding this software? I need a motion to accept the purchase of the DocuWare Records Management System.
Can we get all these motions of anything approval done for next board meeting or special call, because we're not full quorum today? And I think it's unfair.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johar. I will make a motion to accept the purchase of the DocuWare Records Management System. Do I have a second? Motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Opposed.
Motion failed. Okay, we will now move down to item G. Also, Mr. Bletzinger, approve the law enforcement officer job description.
That's what we were talking about, all the further approvals.
We're just going to table everything. Is that what you're
yeah, for next board meeting.
The budget must be submitted by September 30th, so we will have to have a special call meeting.
That's fine.
In order to approve the budget.
We just want to table it.
And the law enforcement also, please.
So we just need a motion to table the rest of the agenda to a special call
I don't
meeting.
know how that works. That I don't know.
Jerry?
You can table items.
Okay. Just table each one individually. Okay, so we need a motion to table item G. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's no discussion?
Yeah.
No discussion?
No discussion type. Item G, till special call meeting. In H2.
No discussion on item H. Approve the carrying of a weapon for law enforcement officer.
Any of the approvals, I and J, we'll make it on a special call.
You'll need to make a motion to table
For each item.
then vote on each item.
Okay, so we'll go back to,
But it's not going to, how's it going to work? The table.
we need a motion to table each item, correct? Okay, so I need a motion to table item G, which is approve the law enforcement job description.
I make a motion.
I second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. H, approve the carrying of a weapon for law enforcement officer. I need a motion to table this to a special call meeting.
Yes, please, I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Johar, and I will second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item I, consider addition to the 2018-19 salary schedule for Muhlenberg South Elementary Daycare. I need a motion to table this item.
Yes,
Mr. Johar, and I will second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye. I'm opposed.
Excuse me?
I said I would be opposed.
You'd be opposed. I misunderstood. I thought you said aye. Opposed? So that motion, so you're opposing tabling it, is that what you're saying?
I guess. I mean, I'm not sure why we need to increase the addition to the salary schedule of Muhlenberg South Elementary Daycare.
We discussed that at the work session.
Okay.
What that is they have a certified teacher that they would like to use, actually, excuse me, after school as well, and I spoke with KTRS. What they'd like to do is utilize that teacher in that after-school program. KTRS says that's fine, however, it must be on the salary schedule. And it's on the back of your decision paper. It's one addition of $10.65 an hour.
It's what's best for our kids.
So how does that differ from the other? If there's a child development center supervisor, and there's a child development.
Are we tabling this, or are we going to vote on what?
Center worker, and then a child development center worker certified teacher.
Well, this is a certified position. Everything else that's listed on here is a classified position. However, KTRS has informed me that you must list it as a certified position for if you're going to pay a certified teacher for that.
Wage.
Yes.
Okay. So what is the enrollment now? I know it was new to have the daycare added to South Elementary.
At this one, I'm not sure what the enrollment is. However, in preparation for when we do get kids, I think it's prudent to do this.
Mr. Wells
have them
probably
ready.
has a number. I know they're doing well.
We're open. We've got 17 in the play school. That's 4 and 5-year-olds. We've got 7 to 8 that are showing up on a regular basis for the 2 and 3-year-olds. We're not fully open yet. We're waiting for the state to license us. So they have allowed us to do an emergency opening where those students come in 3 days a week. We hope to open fully after fall break. We're waiting for the state license to come through. We did pass inspection. All paperwork is in order. It's at Frankfurt waiting for the license. So it's like Mr. Blessinger said, this is with the anticipation that we'll be open fully. We'll have kids that stay over in the afternoon. And we're going to need extra help in the afternoon. So
But the other daycares don't have anyone in the afternoon? But they're not certified teachers? It just says Child Development Center worker, Longest Central City, Muhlenberg South. Child Development Center supervisor, Longest Central City, Muhlenberg South. And then it says Child Development Center worker, certified teacher, Muhlenberg South. So the place, I guess, with the least amount of enrollment, or potentially the smallest enrollment, is getting it's going to have a third worker?
that's not true. That gives us the option, if we need help, we can use a certified teacher. As we could also use a classified employee as well. We polled the staff, the classified staff, for the after-school, after-hours. We didn't have anybody that was interested. We polled certified staff. We have 2 that are interested and be willing to help us if needed. So if they did work after school, they were needed and did work, they would make $10.65.
So this is just in case you need that, it's not immediately going into effect.
As of right now, we're not running any after. Our anticipation is that we will, and we will need the help. We have hired the subs for the afternoon, which are classified. We've already done that. This will give us the option to also use certified.
Well, maybe we should table it for the next month then. That way after fall break, we can get real numbers and you can see for your staff. But currently you have a Development Center supervisor and also Development Center worker, correct? It's just the after hours? And what are the time frames for after hours? Like, is it 2:30 to 3 to 6? Thank you.
So how are you going to handle it from now till?
Right now, we are not.
Another motion to table?
In the afternoon.
License will happen. That's our policy, and that's where we are. We get to that, we need to be able to accomplish. That would start potentially the first week after fall break.
Okay. Any other discussion? Guys, I need a motion to table this for till a month or so until we get more enrollment data. Do I have a motion?
Or when he has a permit from the state.
for a permit from the state. Is that correct?
We can do a special call because he'll need body to cover from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock.
Do you currently have students from 3 to 6?
He doesn't have.
He doesn't
Once he gets it.
Right.
He's saying after,
License that was started.
Yes.
Okay, so do I have a motion to table this for this meeting?
Yeah, for next month.
Motion for Mr. Johar. Do I have a second?
second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed to table. Okay, the next, I need a motion to table item J, consider the 2018-19 working budget.
Special call meeting before September 30th as per the wish of CFO. Can you set a date and time?
We can do that. It'll need to be next week.
Yes, it has to be.
Yes.
Right.
I'm out of town except for Friday.
We can do it Friday.
Okay, we have a motion to table the 2018-19 working budget until Friday of next week for a special call meeting.
What time Friday? I'm not available till 5 o'clock on Friday.
I haven't asked the rest of the board members.
Okay, so I'm not available till Friday. That Friday? Let's look at the calendar. Do you
How
have
about
the exact
Thursday?
date?
You're not here, Susan?
Friday?
Susan, you're not here Monday to Thursday?
She's not here. She says she's not here. So it'd be Friday, September
I could get back for
28th.
an evening meeting if I had to.
Friday, September 28th.
That'd be correct.
Okay, 5
Okay.
o'clock.
Any of the other board
I'm
members who
gonna
aren't here?
find out
their
from the other
schedule
board members as well. What's their availability?
If I need to get back for Thursday evening, I could, if it's 5 or so.
Yeah,
So,
we can do after 5 any day.
okay, after 5 o'clock?
Yeah, because Susan can get out on Thursday after 5 also.
Thursday or Friday. I'm just out of town completely.
And Friday she could do any
So
time.
we'll check with the other
We'll-
two. and
we'll
see
find
if we
out.
can
So
work it
between
out.
Thursday
Schedule
and
it.
Friday.
The 27th or the 28th at 5 o'clock, one of those days at 5 o'clock, not any sooner. I can't do like a lunchtime or a 2 or 3 o'clock meeting. I've got to do like 5 o'clock.
We'll do our best to schedule it.
Thank you.
So do we need the motion to table this to that meeting?
Special call meeting.
Special call meeting.
Motion to
Okay.
table this to a special call meeting.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Johar, and I will second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed to table the working budget discussion. Okay, we have the board consent agenda. Consider the leave of absence request, consider facilities use, fundraising request, and field trip request. We've had these in our packet with time to review. Is there any discussion or questions? If not, I need a motion to approve the board consent agenda. A motion by Mr. Johar, and I will second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? I now need a motion to adjourn. Mr. Johar has made a motion.
I'll
I will
second.
Mr. Lavelle has seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all for coming out tonight. We appreciate it.